Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching the news at 10 live on Channels Television. A reminder of our top stories. Federal lawmakers react to the concerns raised by President Buhari over adjustments made by National Assembly to the 2018 budget and insist figures of reductions grossly exaggerated. Nigeria Super Eagles beat Iceland in their second group match at the 2018 World Cup in Russia. President Buhari congratulates Super Eagles' significant win at Russia 2018, challenges team to sustain momentum against Argentina. An Ethiopian rebel group, Gen Bot 7, suspends armed resistance against the government. And channeltv.com has more information for you, and on youtube.com/channelsweb you can watch our videos. You can also watch us on your mobile device via your browser or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows devices from their respective stores. Besides giving you access to news and updates on the go, the Channels TV and Channels 24 apps have an Eyewitness feature that you can use to share pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu. And please follow the instructions. And to some of the pictures that you sent into our Eyewitness portal, we begin with this video. This is from Benin City, Edo State capital, showing the deplorable condition of a primary school. Our Eyewitness reporter is calling it an eyesore. According to him, it shows the state of the education sector in the country. He's calling on the state government to do something immediately. Next is the set of photos from Yanapaja, Lagos State. Our Eyewitness reporter says the supply of electricity in the area is very low. He says the electricity distribution company alleges that the transformer in use is inadequate, is reaching out to the responsible agency to respond to their plight. A final image is from Benue State, showing individuals waiting to be registered in the ongoing nationwide continuous voters registration exercise by INEC. Our Eyewitness reporter says this happened in Makurdi, the state capital. Thank you for the pictures. Remember that you too can report events as they happen around you by simply downloading the Channels TV free apps and following the instructions. Federal lawmakers have reacted to the concerns raised by President Muhammadu Buhari over some of the budgetary adjustments made by the National Assembly to the 2018 budget. They say the president would not have raised those concerns if he had been properly briefed. The spokesman of both chambers maintained that the figures given to amounts of the reductions made by the lawmakers were unduly exaggerated and would not affect the implementation of those projects in any way. According to the lawmakers, the additional revenues from the increase in the oil price benchmark were allocated to the three arms of government based on an agreement between the National Assembly and the executive.
Many of the projects cut are critical and may be difficult, if not impossible, to implement.
President Muhammadu Buhari voicing his concerns regarding some cuts made to the 2018 budget by the National Assembly.
A very good afternoon.
In a joint press briefing by spokesmen of both chambers of the National Assembly, the lawmakers give their response to some of the concerns raised by the president.
It is our firm belief that if the president had been properly briefed by his appointees, he would not have raised most of the concerns that he did in his remarks at the budget signing.
One key point the lawmakers sought to address had to do with the 347 billion naira meant for 4,700 projects that was cut from the budget.
We took the decision to reduce the funds in some areas in order to ensure balance and equity in the spread and utilization of our national funds. Additionally, the figures giving amount of the reductions made by the National Assembly were unduly exaggerated, as we did not make any substantial reduction on any project to the extent of affecting its implementation.
The lawmakers also fault the assertion that the health sector and funding to unity schools suffered budgetary cuts.
Contrary to the claim that the health sector suffered any budgetary cuts, we actually provided more funds that will make access to health services possible for over 180 million Nigerians. The National Assembly actually provided an additional 3.7 billion more for meal subsidies in these 104 unity schools.
On the matter of statutory transfers and the increase in the National Assembly's budget, the lawmakers say the additional revenues from the increase in the oil price benchmark was allocated to the three arms of government based on an agreement between the National Assembly and the executive.
It is therefore very clear that the three arms of government benefited from the increase, which was mutually agreed on with the Ministry of Budget and Planning. In fact, we have correspondences addressed to the leadership of the National Assembly from Ministry of Budget making requests on how to spread the increment arising from the benchmark differentials.
They end with this appeal.
We therefore want to urge all executive appointees to ensure that they brief Mr. President with the truth and facts of their engagement to promote healthy and harmonious relationship between the executive and the legislature.
With this budget now a law and Nigerians waiting for its implementation, this war of words between the two arms of government may continue until concrete changes are made to the budgetary process in the country. Lanre Lasisi, Channels Television News.
And just like an unending story, the presidency promptly reacted to some of the submissions made by the lawmakers. The presidency, in a statement, insists that throughout the budget consideration process, the executive, through the Ministry of Budget and National Planning, were in touch with the National Assembly, and that the executive were approached by the National Assembly, who indicated that they intended to increase the benchmark price from $5 from 45 to $50. Well, the statement further states that out of the initial amount, the increase, the National Assembly informed the executive that they intended to utilize a certain amount, which amounts to 170 billion naira for projects selected by themselves. The statement reads, quote, "The executive is therefore surprised that with an additional sum of 170 billion naira available for the National Assembly to spend on constituency projects, together with the sum of 100 billion naira already provided for in the budget, the National Assembly should feel it necessary to cut allocations to important national projects and thereby distort the budget in order to further increase their allocation for constituency projects. How much is enough?" End of quote. And just before our next story, we'd like to draw your attention to one of the eyewitness videos that someone sent in. We understand that the school is already receiving the attention of the state government and is currently being renovated. I'd like to just state that fact. And thank you so much for, of course, sending your eyewitness photos and videos. Still on the news, the 2019 elections in Nigeria will see the largest number of voters, political parties and youth involvement in the country's history. This is according to the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, while addressing participants at the ongoing International Press Institute Congress in Abuja. The occasion saw the adoption of the revised 2018 edition of the Nigerian Media Code of Election Coverage by media stakeholders across the country. Our correspondent Kayla Megwa reports.
Movement turn dominant political party.
The International Press Institute is a global network of editors, media executives, and leading journalists with a mission to defend media freedom and the free flow of news wherever they are threatened. While endorsing the Nigeria Media Code for election coverage, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission spoke on the plans for the 2019 general elections and the issue of electronic voting in the elections.
There is no electronic balloting in 2019. In other words, there will be no electronic voting in the next general election, but technology is already being used in many aspects of the processes. Electronic voting should be the ultimate step in the chain involving 5 interrelated processes. All of us know.
After a reaffirmation of the European Union's commitment to support free, fair and transparent elections in Nigeria by the Deputy Ambassador of the European Union, the revised 2018 edition of the Nigerian Media Code of Election Coverage was adopted.
We have adopted this code to promote free, fair and credible elections in Nigeria. Thank you so much.
The chairman and chief executive officer of Channels Media Group, Mr. John Momo, and the country director of Google Nigeria, Juliet Ehimwa, set the tone for the panel discussions, which centered on the importance of the digital experience on media in Nigeria.
We at Channels would like to watch things and see how they unfold, but this was the first mover advantage step that we took. And we're very happy that Google has been a great partner and has really worked with us in making sure that the digital experience is something that we cherish.
We're seeing a lot more African users coming online. The numbers on a year-on-year basis continue to increase. It's projected that by 2020, we'll have 650 million Africans online.
Participants at the World Congress say major changes in the African continent has impacted greatly on its media, and this year's Congress provides a unique opportunity to learn about these changes. Kayla Megwa, Channels Television News.
And the trial of suspected kidnapper Chukwudumeme Onwamadike, popularly known as Evans, was stalled today at the Lagos High Court sitting in Ikeja. When the matter came up for hearing before Justice Hakeem Oshodi, the second and fourth defendants informed the court that they intended to change their counsel. The first defendant, Evans, and the third defendant were, however, represented by Mr. Neil Brown following the withdrawal of Evans's lead counsel, Olukoya Ogungbeje. Mr. Ogungbeje had earlier in a letter informed the court of his decision to withdraw from representing Evans, citing personal reasons. Justice Oshodi and the prosecution counsel, Ms. Titilayo Shitabe, have, however, described Ogungbeje's letter and application as a gross abuse of the court. The judge has adjourned till September the 11th at the instance of all the defendants for continuation of trial. And reactions have been trailing the arrest of the lawmaker representing Abia South in the Senate in Abaribe by the Department of State Services, DSS, in Abuja. Senator Abaribe was reportedly picked up today by security agents from the Transcorp Hilton Hotel, where he went to attend a function. The lawmaker's allies in the People's Democratic Party are concerned about Senator Abaribe's safety following the arrest. According to the PDP, the arrest of Abaribe has further confirmed their fears that the federal government has commenced a total clampdown on the opposition. Also, a leading Igbo socio-cultural group has also condemned what it describes as indiscriminate arrest and persecution of political and business leaders of Igbo extraction by overzealous security agents. Well, the group, Igbo Buibo, is also calling for the immediate and unconditional release of Senator Abaribe. So far, there's been no word from the security service giving reasons for Mr. Abaribe's arrest. Well, still to come on the news at 10, phone manufacturer Itel launches 3 new entry-level and high-end smartphone models in Lagos. Please stay with us.